Here we are back in with the Harmony 61 or 2 H1213 archtop. You can see the little spool clamps here. These are the shop made spool clamps I made while I was doing the 335. Anyway, I'm glad I made them thick enough to take care of a standard-ish acoustic guitar. So I already re-glued this. I was starting to film that. I had my handy dandy sandpaper I was going to use, or I used as to sand out in between the crack here. And I pushed the button and it recorded for a couple seconds and then beeped. So I said, screw that, I'm going to get this done. So I didn't record it. But I was able to just push down on the top, separate it enough to get the sandpaper to slide in between the crack. Basically pushed it in, pulled it through, did that as far as I could one way, as far as I could the other way. Flipped it over, did the same thing again. So just took, freshened up that surface there, then I put Titebond Bond in there. Just puddled it around here, and then I just took this feeler gauge and I just pushed it on in and through, and got plenty of glue coming through the seam there. What I'm going to do now, before I pull the clamps, because I had a little bit of a crack farther than that on either side, but you can only go so far without cracking the top more, right? Separating the joint more, because they don't make 0 thousandths thick sandpaper, so you can't get right up into the apex of that crack. So anyway, I'm going to run some CA glue around here and let it puddle into that, and then spray it, and then I'll pull the clamps off. So I got my glue, got my activator. This happens to be Titebond brand. I like Titebond. I like their regular wood glue, and this is definitely a big step up from regular super glue you get in a tube or in a little bottle. So I'm just, yeah, you can still see in there. If I don't tip it too far, you can see in there. So just basically kind of let that wick on in there, and so anywhere that the Titebond didn't get, this should get. And let's see if I don't see anything coming through, so that's kind of a good sign as far as my Titebond job is concerned. So just going to go ahead and spray that. Alrighty. If you ever buy this type of accelerator, the Titebond accelerator, and I suppose any pump, yeah, you know what, I'm pretty sure that when I was getting it from StewMac, it was the same situation. You want to keep the lid on, or the cap, I should say, not the twist lid, but the cap. This stuff tends to evaporate without that cap on it. I bought a brand new bottle of that one day. I should just say once upon a time. And sometimes I like to just pull the snorkel out and tap something to, set it off, rather than spray a big gob on it. And I was reaching over to put the thing back in the bottle, and I knocked it over. I almost lost a whole bottle of that stuff. It's just aggravating. Alright, so I'll go ahead and pull these off of here. So I guess the plan tonight is to go around this thing and sand and clean this up, and then do the same thing to the back, and prepare for a glue up. I got a little bit of glue smear on the outside here, which if it were a hot glue, I could go after it with a warm or a hot damp rag, but I'm just I did a pretty good job cleaning it up. It might come off with polish. We'll see. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's the separation where it cracked is visible just because of the paint separated there. But not a huge deal. Get you up closer here too, so you can see the braces. I didn't get that close. I don't even know how many second delay in my camera monitor that I'm looking at from when I do something, and it's kind of weird to be looking at the monitor and moving something and not seeing it move. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. If you recall, I mentioned before, this area you can see is just solid glue, whereas most of the rest of it, you can see some wood as well, and so that just tells me that the kerf wasn't up far enough to meet the back. Got another section right here, and actually that's really low right there. I mean, they're not even close. So I will try sanding that and see if that helps, if it gets to it. If not, I'm probably just going to pop this kerf off of here, and if it stays together, I'll re-glue it up a little higher so that it makes contact there. This is such a short section, I'm not sure that it really matters. But I just noticed that. I'll probably try to straighten that out too. I hate to leave it. The rest of this stuff though, looks like it'll sand. I mentioned before right when I took the top off that there were a couple places. Here's one where it pulled a piece of the lining out, and that piece is right here. I'm just going to chip that off of there and sand it, and I'll sand this. Tight Bond will fill that gap. It's not that huge. I think I'll start with the back. Let's just hang this guitar up over here.